Good morning. So good to see you here this morning. Let's take a few moments in the stillness to join together, to get ourselves settled and prepare to receive what Spirit has for us this morning. The shimmering, radiant expanse of the divine fills the universe, and all that is arises from it. As we join together in the breath of life, let us soften into that fertile field that is so totally responsive to our thoughts and our intentions and our desires. Let us dissolve into it with great respect and understanding that that which we experience, however we perceive it, as good, as bad, or indifferent, but that which we experience is drawn to us by the thoughts and the desires of our hearts. And let us rejoice and be glad in that, because it tells us that we cannot be the victim of the world we see. And it tells us that we are free to choose, in any moment, the correction of the belief, or the fear, or the false understanding, or the false perception that has drawn to us anything undesirable. We have that power. It is our gift. It is our inheritance. It is our divine right. And it is our divine duty. I give thanks that this is so, and so it is. Amen. Well, I think this would be a good time for us to dissolve into our chant. Merry almost Christmas. So, that time of the year, Christmas. The word itself means the birth of Christ. And around the world there are many hundreds of thousands who in their mind think that they are celebrating the birth of Christ. But if we stop and think about that for a moment, the Christ is the eternal Son of God, which does not exclude us. Although in probability the same hundreds of thousands of minds, they would say that it does. But the eternal Son of God is all of us. It is the entirety of God's creation. It is the Christ, by whatever name we call it. And by no means is there any law or rule that says, thou must call it Christ or else. It doesn't care what we call it, as long as we get what it is. As long as in the depth of our being, we understand what it is, and we understand that we are part of it. So the Christ was never born. Begotten and not made is the way they phrase it. So we're not celebrating the birth of Christ. That did not happen 2,400 years ago in Bethlehem. Now, what may or may not have happened 2,400 years ago in Bethlehem was the birth of a human form that in its lifetime would realize fully itself to be the total embodiment of the Christ. And this form called Jesus or Yeshua, in its embodiment of the truth of its being, said on many occasions, "Of myself, of the form, I can do nothing, but the Father within me, the truth of my being flowing through me, does everything." And so solid was he in this knowing, so totally connected was he, and when I say he, I mean the form. So connected was he with that spiritual truth that he knew that there was no difference. I and my Father are one. His purpose was to serve as a symbol for us of all that is true about us. Not the mask, not the ego personality, but the reality, the soul of us, the spirit of us, the divine spark that we are, that we have covered over with the peanut butter of the belief system and the conditioning and all this other stuff. The stuff that we think is real. The stuff that the egoic mind sends out its feelers in the form of the five senses to interact with what's out there, and to come back and to report on what it finds. And then to totally misinterpret it. So Jesus, Yeshua, bore true witness to himself. And he bore true witness to us. We see it time and time again in the gospel reports, where he walks up to somebody who's being carried around in a basket because they've got, so much wrong with them. And he looks at them and he doesn't see that. He sees the truth of them. He sees the divinity of them. And not to be flip, but basically he looks at these people and he says, in essence, "What in the world is the matter with you? This is not the truth of you. Let me show you the truth of you." Boom. Now get up and go about your life. He bore true witness. Those around him, in the world in which he walked, all bore false witness against themselves, the person who thought they needed healing, against him. 2,400 years later, the world still bears false witness against him. They say that as a man, he was the only begotten Son of God, and nobody else is. And what he came to do, he did for a select few. His witness is, "I came to show all of you, because there is no all of you. There's only one of us, appearing as many. But in the divine mind, there is one thought. And that thought says, my son," not a gender thing, "the extension of my being, my son is pure and holy as myself." That thought is eternal in the mind of God, and that thought expresses itself as you, as Barbara, as Jania, as Janet, as Nancy, as Richard. Are you ready for the hard part? As Trump, as Bin Laden, as Biden. All of us. So if I look at my neighbor and I see anything less than the pure image of Christ, does the fault lie with my neighbor, or does the fault lie with me? Perhaps fault's not the right word. Let's say origin. Does the origin of the distortion lie with my neighbor, or does it lie with me? If I'm in the park with little Sarah, who's 8 years old, And, the collie dog comes romping over to say hi. I see Rin Tin Tin, or Lassie. She sees Cujo coming to rip her throat out. Now, does the fault lie with the dog? Is the dog the source of the confusion? Or is the source of the distortion in the way we are each perceiving the dog? Because the dog is neither Rin Tin Tin nor Lassie, nor is it Cujo. It's Ralph or Fido, whatever it is. But the thing out there that we're seeing, that is appearing, is what it is. Our senses report back to us, and we interpret wrongly through all the peanut butter that we've got on top of our pure knowing and understanding of who we are and who they are. I bear false witness against myself when I bear false witness against my neighbor. That is, to see anything other than the truth of Christ before me. The behavior might be what the behavior is, but I'm the one interpreting it. I'm the one understanding it. So I bear false witness against my neighbor if I see anything less than the truth of Christ. And I bear false witness against myself when I bear false witness against my neighbor, because there is only one of us. And I bear false witness against my neighbor when I bear false witness against myself. And how do I do that? Well, I get caught up in my story. I get caught up in the story of all my limitations. I get caught up in the story of I'm only human. I get caught up in the story of I'm a body. I get caught up in the story of, oh my God, there's financial issues going on. I bear false witness against myself when I experience myself as anything less than perfect. So I have to look at the symbol that's been given to me. Jesus, Yeshua, is the symbol of my innocence. He is the symbol of my purity. He is the symbol of my true desire to know and to serve the divine that I am. He is the symbol of simple abundance. He is the symbol of pure faith. Faith not being a hope. If I hang on to this and believe it long enough, maybe it'll be true. But faith, true faith, has a deep internal knowing. He knew that when he said to the crippled man, take up your bed and walk, that it was going to happen. He knew when he rebuked the wind and the waves that it was going to calm down. I mean, how could it not? How can the manifest world not respond to the command of the Son of the Creator? And it still does. Unfortunately for us, we have a tendency, I say us, I very gratuitously include all of you guys, but we tend to miscreate, because rather than saying, I am pure, and I am holy, and I am innocent, and I am divine, and I am powerful, and I am limitless, I say, I'm tired. I don't have the strength. I don't feel good. I need glasses. I'm bald. I could go on and on. So much worse than that, the things we tell ourselves. And are we helped by the fact that in our confusion about what's going on, we experience physical symptoms of some sort? And we go to a trained professional and they speak over us the word. OMG. You have whatever. Fill in the blank. Let's keep it light. Let's say the flu. And so many of us are so tuned in to that authority that we accept that word that has been spoken over us, and in so doing, we bear false witness against ourselves. And we bear false witness against the image that we've been given, the symbol that we've been given of our purity and our innocence and our wholeness and our completeness, of our abundance and our limitlessness and our power and our divinity. I, for one, think that we should take that back and focus on the word that is spoken over us from the divine. My son is pure and holy as myself. You are my beloved son, and in you I am well pleased. The Son is eternal with the Father. I do my best personally to try to bear true witness. Not always easy, but I try to bear true witness. Sometimes I've got to get through a lot of my own peanut butter before I'm in a position where I'm even willing to bear true witness. So it is easier with some than it is with others. But it is necessary, I think, with all of us. If I have a brother or a sister who is struggling with the false witness that they are bearing against themselves, I have to bear true witness for them. And if I find myself getting caught up in the story, oh my God, I was walking down the street and this terrible thing happened. A tree branch fell off, hit me in the head. I had to go to the hospital, and I got all these stitches. And then, I went to pay for it. My checkbook was empty. And, on top of that, I went out to the parking lot, and my truck was stolen. If I get caught up in that whole story, I cannot bear true witness. I have to lift myself above the story so that I can speak over them the true word. You are innocent. You are holy. You are pure. You are whole. You are free. You are forgiven. You are beloved. You are blessed. You are perfect in every way. I may have the opportunity to actually speak those words when I'm nose to nose, or I might just sit in my living room chair and visualize them and speak the words that way. But I think it's imperative that we bear true witness as we go through these next several weeks of interesting shifting of energies on the planet, all seeming to come to a peak on December 25th. And then a couple of weeks later, it's back to business as usual. Peace on earth, goodwill toward man, love your neighbor for this 2-week period. So in the face of all that's going on out there, maybe we can bear true witness to ourselves. Give ourselves that gift of bearing true witness to ourselves, reaffirming that which is true of us, reaffirming the divine qualities and aspects that we can embody, and then bear true witness to our neighbors and reaffirm those same qualities and aspects in them. And if everybody was doing that, OMG, there would be peace on earth. There would be goodwill toward men. It would be Christmas all the time. I'm up for that.
And we will take those thoughts into the stillness. The light that I am surrounds me. The love that I am enfolds me. The power that I am protects me. The presence that I am watches over me. Wherever I am, love is. And so it is. Well, thank you so much for coming out to play again. You know I always appreciate it. I'll look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, I love you, I bless you, and I behold the light that you are. Namaste.